a formal welcome to you. Welcome to your caucus. Um, and I just wanted to give you a second to take one big breath. It'll all be fine. So, how it's going to work is you're going to get your 5 minutes for your speech, and then you'll give your speech, and then we'll move over to your caucus. And as if you have 30 seconds left of your speech, I will put on my camera again, and then you'll know you have 30 seconds left. You can just finish off, and I'll explain your caucus once we get to that part. So you are more than welcome to start whenever you are ready.
Okie dokie. Okay. Hi everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood Ari, Benazir, or B, as I'm more commonly known. It's so great to have the opportunity to stand before you, be it virtually, and step up as a candidate to be a part of your HC as your Vice Prim. And I want to emphasize that word, your HC, because that is why I'm here, to serve you, to be here for you, and to make sure that you have the best possible experience in Aristia. My passion for Aristia has really grown since I stepped into the hub as a scared first year in 2019. Being a part of this wonderful PSO and participating in all that it has to offer has really fueled me in wanting to do more for Aristia, since Aristia has done so much for me. I've had so many rewarding and fun experiences, whether it's taking part in events like Molasasa to Neolfeus, being a part of the Social Impact Committee and a cappella, working on the ARI Alert, or my term as mentor. These experiences have helped shape me into the ARI and person that I am today. I have learned so much from the amazing people and leaders around me who have paved the way for Aristia going forward. Now I have made mistakes, and I have learned from those mistakes. And I promise to continue learning from those mistakes, as I will surely make them. But my willingness to learn from that, and from those around me, and to take responsibility for my actions is what I think makes me capable of being a good leader and a part of this wonderful team. Having been a mentor and part of the seniors committee, I feel that I am ready to take the next step in leadership, in challenging myself and growing as a person. I feel that this way I can do more in helping my fellow Aris on a greater scale, and I believe that right now I am the best person I can be for this position. I love helping others, and I know that I can be of use to my Prim and the rest of the HC, as well as the House in a supportive role as Vice Prim. I have worked very closely with our newly elected Primaria, Madgra, and I'm familiar with the way she works and leads, and know that we will be able to work comfortably together if I am elected as Vice Primaria. I'm an assertive and decisive person, as well as objective, and I will be able to deal with any issue in an objective way while also being kind. My philosophy in life is that everyone deserves kindness, and that you should treat absolutely everyone you come across with the utmost kindness, and that combination is something I believe that will help me in dealing with any kind of conflict or problem in a constructive way. I love people and connection. I absolutely love meeting and interacting with new people. I love to talk and building meaningful relationships. Being able to actively listen is also a big part of interacting with people, and I will always be available with the listening ear. I think that my love for people opens up a space for connection and communication, which is a vital part of being Vice Prim. I also think that communication is of utmost importance, which is something that I've really learned to improve, surprisingly, in dealing with mental illness. Aristia has given me the space to be myself, and I want others to have that space too. A safe space with no judgments and no expectations, because that is where I learned to thrive, and where I found the most support. This year has arguably been the most difficult time in my life, but with the help of my Ari family, I was able to push through and still do the best that I can in managing my mental illness, academics, and Aristia responsibilities. And I promise to continue doing that to the best of my abilities if I am given the opportunity to be a part of the HC, while supporting others who just need understanding, love, support, a helping hand, someone to cheer them on. And I do not take that lightly. In the words of Donald Kaberuka, I am not interested in whether the glass is half empty or half full. I am interested in figuring out how to fill the glass. And Harstia, I would love to do that as part of your HC. I have conquered many of the weaknesses I've had in the past, and while I am by no means perfect and continue to have weaknesses, and I will not always have the answers, I know I'll have an amazing team to lean on and a wonderful house to fuel me. Thank you for taking the time to hear what I have to say. I'm Benazir Chotia, and I hope to see you soon as a part of your HC.
Thank you very much for your speech, Benazir. We will be moving on to your question section now. The panel will be asking questions. We'll start off with one question that's standardized that we're going to ask all of the candidates, and then from there on, we will give the panel an opportunity to ask you the questions. So my first question to you is, if RCR leadership wasn't an option, where else would you be involved on campus?
On campus? Oh, that's a really good question, and actually one I've thought about. I would actually, if I had the opportunity, love to join the SRC. I think that making a difference on campus is also really important, and I would love to kind of broaden my horizons in that. So SRC is definitely something that I would love to do.
Awesome, thank you. I'll open it up to the panel. Does anyone have a question for Benazir?
Hi, Dee. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So my question to you is, what is your vision should you be elected as Vice Prim? And how are you going to implement this practically?
Okay, so my vision for Aristia as a whole is just to make it a safe and open space where everybody can be themselves and where they feel comfortable being themselves so that they can thrive. And I feel like as Vice Prim, you work a lot internally with your HC. So I think that, it all starts with the HC. And I think having everyone be comfortable and being that supportive role for the people in your HC will really translate to the rest of the house. So I think starting within the HC, if I can make everybody feel comfortable and at home and be that supportive person, then I think we can really make a difference with others.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I also have a question for you, Benazir, and my question is, how are you going to use your strengths to support Marge, as we know that she's the Primaria now, in her vision to make Arasia a community that drives people's growth?
Okay, so that's a little bit of a difficult one to think about, but I think that I'm a very accommodative person, and also I have a lot of empathy for others, and I know that Marge does too. So I think I can work really well with her in kind of helping others thrive and do the best that they can to help them grow, because I know that Marge's leadership is very centered on growth and helping people, and that lies very close to my heart as well. So I think with the two of our leadership styles, I think we will work very well in helping others grow and thrive.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone else on the panel have another question?
I have another one. My question is,
Josh,
in your application, you stated that one of your... Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so in your application, you stated that one of your greatest weaknesses is not always being positive and optimistic. So I just want to know, how are you going to ensure that this doesn't affect both yourself and your fellow HC team during your term?
Yes. So that really came from me. The lack of positivity and being negative a lot of the time has stemmed a lot from dealing with mental illness. And I think, in learning to deal with my mental illness, I've really learned to kind of deal with the negative thoughts that I have. And with that, the quote that I mentioned in my speech about not being interested in whether the glass is half full or half empty, just being interested in, figuring out how to fill it, is really how I've been living my life quite recently. So I think it doesn't really, it matters definitely your outlook on life, but I think if you're willing to improve, and I think my willingness to improve really helps with that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have another question? Puka, I think you wanted to ask one.
Hi there. Yes, I do have one actually from the house that I think is a really good question. How would you, if elected as vice prim along with the prim, keep the house committee motivated in the presence of conflict and obstacles? Because as you know, as part of the prim and vice prim, the executive, you handle a lot of conflicts and all of those different obstacles. So how would you then go about dealing with that?
Firstly, I think motivation, communication is a very, very important part within a leadership structure. So I think communicating with the different members of the HC, firstly, knowing where their strengths lie, what kind of makes them tick, if you will, and knowing kind of when they're more susceptible to falling into a space where they're more demotivated than usual. So I think in knowing the members of your HC or getting to know them, because there are a lot of new applicants, is very crucial in dealing with motivation. And I think encouragement is also just an important part, and that's also a very important part of me as a person. I think it's important to encourage everyone, encourage them to do their best, to thrive. So yes, I think that would kind of be my approach to that.
Okay, I also have a question for you. I think we have time for mine and one more, depending on how quick your answer is. My question is, how do you think you've grown since last year? I remember you applied last year for HE as well. So what do you think you have done, or what do you think you've been through this year that have helped you grow and stand here?
I think the biggest, sorry, I think the biggest thing for me this year, as I've mentioned before, I was diagnosed with a mental illness. So I think that has really helped me in, first of all, opening up to people, because that was one of my greatest weaknesses last year, is opening up to people and really staying within myself. I think now I am better able to ask for help when I need it, knowing where my limits are. I mean, I'm all about striving to go as far as possible, but I think knowing your limits is something that I've definitely learned this year. And, also just being true to not trying to please others as much is also definitely where I think I've grown quite a lot in the past year.
Okay, thank you very much, Benazir. I have one more question for you. My question has to do with a bit of the university's vision as well. So my question is, which of the EK values do you think relates most to Aristia, and how are you going to embody that in your term as vice primaria? If you don't know them, I can say them to you.
Yes, please. I was going to say that.
Okay, so it's excellence, compassion, accountability, respect, and equity.
Yes, so one of my core values is accountability, and I think accountability relates very much to Aristia and myself, and how I lead is because, well, with Aristia's 5 values, we have respect, approachability, integrity, and responsibility. So I think encapsulating all those values is responsibility, which relates a lot to accountability. Because, if you take accountability for yourself and your actions, you are more likely to respect others, their individuality. And I think, yeah, definitely accountability for me, because I think that will allow you to carry out the other values. to the best of your ability.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And that also concludes our time. We have about 15 seconds left, but even I can't give you a question that fast. So thank you very much for joining us, and you have a lovely evening further.
You too. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.